What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I don't know if you can hear it in the clip. I'm actually going to check, but I tried to record a video of the wind that's going on outside. I'm telling you, it's like at 50 to 60 miles an hour wind, and this thing is hitting the garage hard. Before I start this video, you guys probably already know from the last video what I'm going to do in this video, but before I start this video, leave a thumbs up as it helps out the channel and consider subscribing. I try to reply to everyone down below. If you checked out some of my last videos where I tackle the timing belt on this and most of the seals, I do have a lot of part numbers and pretty much everything that I use. All part numbers are in the description below of that video. So if you want to go check that out, you guys can go back and check those out. But today, well, a few days ago, I put the Sport Design taillights on, and now I don't want to have mismatch where I have Sport Design taillights and just chrome headlights. I have done headlights in the past. I am gonna try to tackle doing these headlights and painting them, making them black housed, and maybe doing the blue tint on the inside. And then I'll show you guys what paint I use depending on how it comes out, right? So I'm gonna start off by removing the front bumper. There's a bolt here. I'm not sure if there's two. I think there's just one because this has a little tab just to line it up. There's a bolt here, bolt on the other side, a bunch of clips in the front, and bolts on the bottom if you have. I don't have the splash shield for the undercover, so there's no bolts in the front. But I'm gonna just remove this front bumper real quick and we can get to taking off the headlights. So now what I'm gonna do is just remove these headlights. So these headlights are pretty easy. There's a bolt in the back over here, and then there's just this, and there's a clip right here in the front, which is kind of annoying sometimes to take out, but you just pull it forward and it kind of pops out. All right, I don't know exactly where I left off in the last clip, but I just finished taking off these headlights and it's pretty disgusting under here, so I have to clean all this up. I have to heat up the oven upstairs up to 200 degrees for 8 minutes and have these in there for a little bit, and it should start melting the sealant here around, and I'll be able to pull these lights all apart. Mistakes I made and whatever I see that I can do better, I'll mention in the video so you guys don't have such a hard time doing it. I mean, I'm sure there's a million videos of people popping headlights apart on YouTube, but yeah, let's get these Altezza lights in the oven. All right, so some of you are a car guy without telling you're a car guy, right? So the lights are in the oven. It looks pretty funny, and it's like my first time doing it. All right, so I don't know what happened to the audio in this clip, but here you can see me taking my headlights apart pretty much. So this is after I took them out of the oven after sitting for about 15 minutes, I want to say. Yeah, after 15 minutes, the glue was soft enough to where it was peeling apart. So I was kind of just prying a little bit with this flathead, not too much where I was bending the plastic, but just enough to where it was separating. And then you could kind of just get your hand in there and kind of pull them apart. And you'll see that now. I think it probably took me a while. But yeah, so I just kept pulling apart little by little. You can see when you flip the light around or anything, there's a bunch of clips around the whole headlight that you could just have peel apart, but that's pretty much all I did, and the headlights came right apart. So I'll skip to that part now. I'll speed this up. so here you can see this little tab on top here. You kind of have to pry this up to pull it out, and then there's two 8mm that you have to pull out, which I think this kind of adjusts your light. And yeah, so you might have to readjust that once you remove. So I have my little paint station here. The parts are still warm from the oven, but the garage is extremely cold, so it'll get cold quick. So I do have my heat gun here. I'll just pass it around and also heat up my cans of paint. But so what I'm using for the blue lens for these lenses right here is metal cast right here, blue ionized. So it gives a nice little, I do a light coat. I don't even go too much around it. So I'm using 3000 grit sandpaper, and then I'm just going around on the chrome, and it should be pretty much easy to paint after that. So I'm gonna get that done so you guys can see it, and I'll put some footage on there real quick. So primer that I'm using is this self-etching primer, and works pretty well. It does leave a clean finish. So after I sanded it down, I used a little tack cloth and I wiped around it, not acetone, alcohol, to clean around it, so, you know, get rid of any grease or anything like that from me touching it. I try to also wear gloves when I'm doing that because I don't want to leave like any spots that the paint's not going to attach to. But if I do leave any spots, this will take care of it. So I'm gonna finish that and then I'll paint it black. All right, so once the primer is down, I put, I don't really have to go like a light coat and then put another coat, but I do this coat to do a little bit of coverage all around, and then I'll go around with another coat, and it should be good for paint. So the black paint that I'm using is this one, which was recommended by someone that already has done this, and it's, you know, first of all, it's high heat, so it's good because your headlights obviously get hot when they're out in the sun and when your headlights are on. And it's also just like a matte black, so it's pretty good. It works well. So I just using this is fine. I'm gonna wait for this to dry up. I'm gonna use the heat gun a little bit and then I'll get on to painting it. Actually, I'm gonna put one more coat and then I'll paint it. Of course, you're gonna get these little spots. If you can see it right there, that drive me crazy. So I'll probably end up sanding that down a little bit. But also remember that this is also covered by a lens that has like a lot of, I don't know how to really call it, but like design to the lens. So you don't really see this as much. You kind of just see the color of the background. So you don't really have to worry much, but just me being me, I'll take care of that little thing right there. And then we're ready for the black paint. All right, there is somewhat of the finished product. So that's done already. Excuse my socks. I'm actually gonna grab a little bit of silicone, which I have here, and just to reseal the headlight housing. Put them back in the oven, squeeze it together, and it should be good to go. All right, guys, the headlights, one of the headlights is on right now, and it looks so freaking good. I'm so happy I did this. I'm honestly happy with the way they came out. I'm still not too sure about the blue tint, but these aren't the headlights that I'm gonna stay with forever. Yeah, I can't wait to throw the other one on and then throw the bumper on real quick, and then I'll show you guys the finish, well, obviously the end result, and I'll throw more footage at the end. But wow, man, that looks good. All right, guys, I'm finally done, and check these out. Oh my God, they look so good. Honestly, I'm so happy that I did this. And wow, it's kind of weird. I can't go back like once you start, but yeah, looks really good. I was just polishing out the headlights a little bit. All right, guys, so I'm ending the video here. I'm having a little bit of trouble recording for some reason. My camera is just like not having it, and by camera I mean phone. For some reason it keeps freezing, and I don't know, something's going on. But anyways, so I'm gonna cut this video short. So I'll leave you guys with some footage of the headlights, and I'll end the video here. So if you guys, that wind outside is crazy. All right, guys, it's the next day. I forgot, while I was ending the video, and I realized that I forgot to mention how I sealed these headlights. So once the headlights are ready to put back together, right? What I did was I set the oven to 250 degrees for about, I want to say, about 15 minutes. And then I left these, well, for the preheat, it's like 5 minutes or something. It depends on what your oven takes. But then I left these in there for about like 15 minutes until the rubber seal was soft. And then I also added this 3M sealant. I added that around, like a very thin layer around the whole headlight. And then I put it in the oven, let it sit. When it came back out, I just squeezed it back together until everything lined up and all the clips were back on. And that's pretty much it. And then I let it sit for a little bit, let it dry, and clean up the edges, and it was sealed up. So I didn't really get to record that process because I was a little confused on how to reseal them and how to close them back up. But, you know, throwing them back in the oven obviously helps. I cleaned up a little bit of the access old sealant that was on there, just cleaned that up. If you guys haven't checked it out, my last video, I showed you guys a comparison between the dark chrome taillights and the chrome taillights, both OEM. I'm thinking about what to do with these. I do have a new set. I might take these out and maybe paint the inside black. I'm not sure. I'm done with this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. So if you guys liked this video, this is more of a DIY type of video. If you guys like this type of video, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel, as you guys will be able to see more content that I put out more this year. So without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.